The paper felt cold in my hands, a trust statement I'd let pile up for nearly a year. Life was a happy blur of kindergarten and playgrounds. Raising our daughter, Chloe, my world was picture books. Not financial portfolios, the trust, money from my late mother for Chloe's future, was managed by my husband, David. He was a broker. You take care of the days, I'll take care of the decades, he'd say. I trusted him. That was my first and most costly mistake. The statement was for the Chloe and Montgomery Irrevocable Trust. The balance, which should have been well over its initial $750,000. The name meant nothing to me. A frantic hour of online searching later, it meant everything. Viridian Couture was a new fashion brand. Its founder was a woman named Sienna Rhodes. Her Instagram was a curated dream of linen dresses and sun-drenched European cafes. And in 3 separate photos, blurred but unmistakable, was My David. At a launch party. At a warehouse viewing. His hand resting on her back in a shot from Positano. The timeline was a brutal slap. The loan defaulted 2 months ago. The bank would now be moving to seize the collateral. They would take my mother's legacy, my daughter's future, to cover the debts of my husband's mistress. I didn't confront him. Confrontation would give him time to spin lies. Instead, I moved with a silence born of pure maternal fury. I called my father, a retired attorney who never trusted David's slick charm. Within hours, I was in the office of his most ferocious colleague, a woman named Miriam who specialized in fiduciary fraud. "This isn't just adultery, Elise," Miriam said, her eyes sharp. "This is a profound breach of fiduciary duty. As trustee, he has a legal obligation to act solely in Chloe's best interest. Pledging her trust for his girlfriend's failing business isn't just unethical, it's illegal. We can have him removed as trustee today and sue him for damages. But I wanted more than his removal. I wanted reclamation and ruin." Miriam filed an emergency petition in probate court. It sought his immediate removal, a restraining order to freeze the collateral, and a special investigator. The petition laid out the cold, unassailable facts, the trust's purpose, the unauthorized pledge, the default, and the documented personal relationship between David and the loan's beneficiary. We served him the papers at his office. The explosion was volcanic. He came home screaming. A performance of wounded outrage. "How could you go behind my back? This is a business setback. Sienna is a brilliant designer. The brand was about to take off. I was protecting the trust's principal. I sat calmly at our kitchen island. You protected nothing. David, you gambled our daughter's future on your girlfriend's vanity project. You breached your duty. The court will see it. The bank will see it, and when the story gets out, so will every one of your precious clients." The blood drained from his face. The probate hearing was a swift, surgical humiliation. David's lawyer argued he had broad discretion to invest the assets. Miriam simply entered exhibit after exhibit: the trust document, the risky loan agreement, the default notices, and finally, the photos of David and Sienna. The judge, a stern woman known for protecting minors' interests, needed less than an hour. She removed David as trustee immediately, appointed a neutral bank to take over, and issued an injunction preventing the bank from taking the collateral, citing the strong likelihood of fraudulent self-dealing. She also ordered David to personally cover all legal fees for both sides and to replenish the trust for any lost value, starting with his own accounts. But the financial clawback was only Act 1. The true masterpiece was in the court of public opinion. I didn't go to a tabloid. I went to the Financial Review, a respected publication read by every investor David wanted to impress. Miriam had a contact. We provided the court documents. All public record. The story ran with the headline, Fiduciary Fail, Prominent Wealth Manager Pledges Daughter S Trust for Paramour S Loan. It was a column of devastating facts, citing breach of duty, conflict of interest, and the shocking personal betrayal. It didn't need to be sensational, the truth was sensational enough. The fallout was immediate and terminal. David's firm placed him on indefinite administrative leave. Client calls flooded in, then stopped. The bank holding the loan, now facing a nightmare, offered to settle. Miriam negotiated fiercely. The result, Viridian Couture would be dissolved, its assets sold. Sienna would be personally liable for the remaining debt, and the lien against Chloe's trust would be released in full in exchange for a modest payment from David's now rapidly depleting accounts. Sienna, stripped of her business and her funding, vanished from social media. The final meeting was in Miriam's office. David looked aged and hollowed out. The settlement agreement transferring full ownership of our home to me lay on the table, along with a new, ironclad trust agreement for Chloe. He signed without meeting my eyes. As he stood to leave, a broken man facing professional ruin, he finally spoke. Was it worth it? Destroying me? I looked at him, no anger left, just a vast, clean emptiness. You were the one who set the value. David, you appraised our daughter's future as being equal to your mistress's credit line. I just called in the debt. I turned and walked out, the papers in my bag, feeling not like victory, but like a salvage operation. I was picking up the pieces of a future he had tried to pawn. That night, I read Chloe an extra story, her trust fund and, more importantly, her safety finally restored. The collateral had been called, and he was the one found worthless. Thank you so much for listening to my story. If you've been through something similar, remember that knowledge and the right legal help are your greatest powers. Please share your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this story compelling, consider subscribing for more.